Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons, and we're going to continue a post-mortem on the 2023 spring Dungeons & Dragons OGL 1.1 leak Firestorm, okay? All right, and today what I want to talk about specifically is I want to make a prediction on Paizo's first OGL Firestorm that is brewing right now, right? Tiny little flames licking in the kindling at the bottom, and it will be a firestorm very soon, right? And you guys can do what I do. Look at the flames, put your hands up. I like a good bonfire, right? Like, right? Woo! Yeah. I have to say, these are exciting times, right? Like, I do want to live in exciting times, but these are exciting times, right? Right? And you're like, well, Scott, you just talked about D&D be gone, right? Why aren't you terrified? Well, first of all, I'm pretty fearless, right? Like, and then the other thing is, like, I'm like you, right? I know what's happening here on a lot of stuff, but there's some askers who are like, this could go in a lot of directions, right? And one of them is like, I'm just sharing my thoughts here. Like, this is a work in progress. A lot of stuff. When I'm right, and I think I'm right, and I know the future, I will tell you. But this one, right? I'm kind of like, well, wait. If everybody's going to abandon D&D, wait, does that mean I get to go back and buy a whole bunch of D&D canon hardbacks as they drop in price? And there's going to be about 3 or 4 or 5 years where I'm the only guy on the street willing to run your Dungeons & Dragons game, and everybody else is running Palladium and Pathfinder and a bunch of junk that people will find out very, very soon is nothing compared to D&D 5e. Right? Like, Rifts, you should see the people. That's the crap that people are pulling out of the closet. Good grief, man. King Waspinator over on Total Party Sales. I'm listening to his channel a lot. He's a very, very smart OSL. He uses the OGL, and he is an OSR, and he's a good voice that I can listen to get the temperature of the OGL 1.0 and OSR. He seems like a pretty reasonable guy. He's got a lot of good ideas. I disagree with him on most things, but he's got a good channel. You guys should go check out King Waspinator over on Total Party Skills. He's got some interesting takes on what's happening here, and I feel like he's even one of the things I appreciate is he's not one of these. He understands. He's one of these guys that wants Hasbro to hurt for everything that just happened. But one thing he isn't doing is he doesn't have for one iota for one moment this ridiculous idea that all the global scale Hasbro built for Dungeons & Dragons since 1999 for 23 years is going to be easily replaced. He's smart enough to see that, right? So and I'm kind of like, I play Pokemon Go, right? And people are like, people still play that game? I'm like, are you kidding? All the gyms are full. Like, I can't find space to put my Pokemon in. I wish it was the Ghostland you said it was going to be, right? Like, and the same thing here. Like, I was like, would it be nice for me to kind of stretch out and have D&D all to myself for 3 or 4 years? And here's the kicker. Here's the part I love, right? D&D be gone. Like, I think if that were even able to be possible, if the OGL 1.0 creators and the OSR community got their wish, and Dungeons & Dragons was torn to the studs and burnt to the ashes, I know the truth of it. It'd come back 3, 4, 5, maybe 7 years later, and it would crush again. Like, this ain't our first rodeo, man. There was an apocalypse under 4th edition, right? And Mike Morales came in, dusted his, washed his hands, got to work, and just kicked every OGL, and kicked out the OGL 1.0 creators and the OSR. It was like, you had your fun, Pathfinder. Pathfinder be gone. Like, it was like, and it was like Pathfinder was reduced. It was decimated, right? Like, it wasn't made gone. And actually, I don't want to see Pathfinder gone, right? Like, this D&D be gone. I don't want to repeat anything be gone, right? I want them to lose. I don't want them deleted, right? Like, that is the most dangerous thing that was said in all this, was the D&D be gone. But let me stay focused here. So what I want to talk about today is Paizo's magical nonprofit that they're going to find. Woo! Can't wait to see this, right? So they're like, we're going to find. So they're like, hey, we get it, right? If the Paizo sets up the OGL and then the person who owns Paizo sells it to an evil corpo, right? The whole problem is just repeated again. Correct? Yes, correct. right? Like, right? Now, first of all, Hasbro ain't an evil corpo. I'm just saying what they're saying, right? Like, and so it's, so you're like, oh, that's interesting. Okay, I see where you're going here, right? And they're like, so we got to put this under a nonprofit, right? This is where the Firestorm will grow. This is where Paizo's OGL 1.0. I'll give you the full, right? It'll be 2023 fall, okay? Paizo OGL 1.0, right? ORC 1.0 Firestorm, right? And it won't be a leak. I think we'll actually have the real docs, right? It won't be just a bunch of like wisps of smoke that aren't real, and they're like, I'm saying they said this, not them saying this. We're like, and yeah, boy, those leaks really annoy me. Anyway, all right, let's keep it targeted here. So let's talk about this magical nonprofit they're going to find, right? So here's where the Firestorm's going to come for Paizo. This is my prediction, right? Let's see if I'm right, okay? So first of all, let's talk about this magical little nonprofit, right? Who are they? First of all, you need to find a nonprofit who even knows what Pathfinder is. They're like, hey, welcome to our nonprofit. You would like changes for the Pathfinder. We totally agree. That SUV burns a lot of oil. And then they're going to be like, no, Pathfinder isn't an SUV. It's an OGL, it's a retro clone of Dungeons and Dragons. And they're like, why did you name it Pathfinder? They say, oh, yeah, well, blah, 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 because we don't know what we're doing. Really? I can't wait to hear that conversation. Right? So then there's this magical, okay, first of all, they got to find a nonprofit that even knows what Pathfinder and tabletop role-playing games even are, right? Then they got to explain, hey, we need you to come help save a whole bunch of copiers, right? We're derivative creators. We literally make retro clones. We want you to help us make content and insult the people that we make the copies of. Can you help with that? Really? Where is this line of magical nonprofits are like, yes, we really love your copy energy. No innovators, no leaders, no real talent. Yeah, we're all on board. Yeah, let's go, right? Like, so first of all, you have to find a nonprofit that even understands what tabletop role-playing games are, right? Okay. Then you gotta say, yeah, you're gonna be championing the copiers, not like the leading edge of the community, right? Not even the indies, right? Like whoo, yeah. And then, yeah, so you're gonna help us copiers, right? Like you're gonna help us protect copy culture, right? Like, and so one, they gotta know what tabletop role-playing games are, and then they need to care. Right? They're like, yes, we're really on fire to help you copiers. We're like, we want to help make sure that your copy culture is protected so that derivative works live forever. Like, I can't. And I'm laughing because OGL 1.0 creators and the OSR community are like, we can easily replace Hasbro's global scale. And I'm laughing now at because I know what they're going to run into. Yeah, it ain't going to be pretty. I'll tell you that right now, okay? So they got to find this magical nonprofit that knows what tabletop role-playing games are and then cares to protect copy culture, right? And then I think they're going to get through that. They're going to find one. I think they will find one, right? Ooh, here's the Firestorm part. What are they connected to? Nonprofits all have an agenda now. They're all highly political. They're all tied to their own controversies. And the moment you pick your nonprofit that you squeeze through, right, and found this nonprofit that knows what tabletop role-playing games are, has enough bandwidth to help, and is excited about protecting copy culture, then every agenda they had, that nonprofit, every controversy they had, every ally they have, are they funded by the Koch brothers, right? Are they big oil? Are they big pharma, right? Are they big X? Yeah. And then Paizo's got its own little firestorm, and then they lose some of their people, and then some of their excitement drifts off as Dungeons & Dragons' new show launches, as Fandelver book drops. I'm telling you, this ain't gonna happen, right? I'm asking you, please, Dungeons and Dragons is a valuable structure. It is a load-bearing wall in American culture, okay? And y'all are about to burn it to the ground and break it, right? All so that you can, all for empty, very empty, no tangible proof that the OGL 1.0 creators or the OSR community can replace it with anything, even with anything at all, right? Certainly nothing that's going to have the same value, the same momentum, the same strength, the same benefits for our culture. That magical nonprofit ain't out there. And I'm telling you right now, the 2023 fall Paizo ORC 1.0 Firestorm, the kindling is starting to smoke right now. That's my prediction. All of that is my prediction and my humble opinion. I would love to hear your predictions and your humble opinions when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing and have a wonderful millennium.